Greetings, everybody. I am here for a public service announcement. But before I begin,
can't do drippin', can't do drippin',
can't do dripping,
diamonds on my wrist, they drippin', ice.
Can't do dripping, can't do dripping, can't do dripping,
Diamonds on my wrist, they drippin', ice.
Can't do drippin', can't do drippin', can't do drippin', diamonds on my wrist, they drippin',
Ice.
can't do drippin', can't do drippin', can't do drippin', diamonds on my wrist, they drippin'.
Give me a little something to remember. Tryna make love in the sprinter. Quit you dropping like Kimber. Looking like a right swipe on Tinder. Shit on these hoes. Let up my wrist on these hoes. Now I look down on these. I do it like I'm on
I
stage
have a
on these
public
hoes.
announcement to make. Yes.
Got cake by the pound. Go down, eat it up, don't drown. Make the cheese in a bow, how it sound. I got that gushy. Yeah, that's the
Anyway, I don't want Facebook to lock me down too much, so I have a special message I'd like to share with you. Happy Solstice. Yeah. Can't do dripping. You know, I make sure this time I ask my children, what does it mean? What is Cardi B talking about? You know, I want to share something with you. I wasn't planning to come on here tonight, but you know what? I'm supposed to. You know why? Because there's more passion in me. And there's more things, and I want to encourage you, for all of you who are on your path, okay? Be yourself. Being yourself means that when anybody, greetings, Julian, that if anyone comes on your path that represents the opposite of you, because, you know, when you step into this power, when you step into this inner power, what happens is the contrast is going to show up. And the contrast will say, who do you think you are? What do you think you're doing? No. So this solstice energy is a representation of how much you're coming in to a greater balance of this inner power, you know? So I think about this song too. Ain't no stopping us now. Absolutely not. Don't let anyone or anything stop who you are. Stop you on anything to do with your path and where it's taking you. Okay? It's very important for you to know that. And I'm going to tell you why I am being guided and led and pushed to come on tonight to deliver this message to you. That it's not a test. The more you declare who you are, is the more the contrast will show up and say, do you really know who you are? Are you really accepting who you are? Are you really, truly, and not just talking it, right? But you're walking it. You're walking it. That's right, Risa. Greetings, honey. Ain't no stopping us now, okay? Ain't nothing stopping me now. So if nothing now stop me, don't make it stop you either, okay? Don't make it stop you either. Keep on keeping on. That even if your reality and what you're creating doesn't look comfortable for anyone else to understand, let me say it to you in Patois, because when I speak in Patois in this place, this is when it's very passionate for me. I don't feel your business. I don't feel your business. I mean, it's not your business how anyone is perceiving what they're perceiving. And I can tell you this, based on what's happened, what's coming to me within the past 2, 3, 4 hours with whatever contact I'm making with anyone, that the patriarchal system is, yeah man, I'm Jamaican. The patriarchal system is disintegrating like no tomorrow, okay? It's disintegrating. And we're now in another level of this piercing of this veil, okay? And this veil that is so pierced now, the masculine is starting to feel, it's like there's so much things that are breaking down that it seems so chaotic, okay? And that means that it's going to show up where either a family member or someone might be with illnesses and pain and all kind of stuff and chaos and all these things. If you are experiencing any illness in your body, and you feel taking medication is going to solve it for you, it may not necessarily solve it for you. Because why? Because you're carrying an energy within you for you to shift. You're carrying an energy within you to get to the root of where it came from. Where did it start from? What does it mean? You see? For me, how I do things is I don't go on the surface. So I know my segments are very long. And I say you could just miss one little thing and that's what missing the mark means. Just miss one little thing and you don't know where it's going to take you. So, but like I said, I'm here to lead the way, and I'm leading the way, and I will continue to lead the way, and there ain't no stopping me now. So I had the pleasure of getting a phone call overseas. No coincidence that I had the dream earlier this week. For anyone that listened to the segment, bless you, bless you, bless you. Because it takes a lot of energy for me to put it together. But I know that for me to be putting out 2 segments, and there's one more on the way, it's done. I just have to upload it. That means that this is a very, 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 hear how much very messy, very, very crucial time right now. And it's not a time where I'm talking about where, you know, how it looks to you as if things are falling apart. It's how everything is coming together. For you to come to this place, woo, you hear that? Woo, I'll take you there. I know a place, woo. Ain't nobody crying. That's right. That's where I'm taking you. Ain't nobody worried. Ain't nobody worried. Ain't no smiling faces. But then again, there is smiling faces. Lying to the races. And where I'm taking you is where you're going in consciousness. In consciousness. It's not a physical place. That's what the Exodus represent. I saw in a vision just a few days ago, because I've been getting them in the download. The vision I saw is that there's a new covenant. It's a new energy. It's a new time. This is the Christed energy. This is the Christus that we are templating on the earth, and what it means for us. If any of you are feeling this joy in your soul and you don't know where it's coming from, if you're feeling things uprooted through your root chakra, what's grounded in the earth, because you're being taken someplace else and what's coming together in this unity consciousness, okay? And what it means for you when it comes to shifting and letting go. Because if you're not surrendering, then that's when you're going to the universe is going to keep bringing in all the elements of things that's going to seem chaotic around you. You see? And how much more you're detaching from the physical things that you see. How much more are you detaching and also analyzing and paying attention to how you're reacting to things, and what are you holding on to that's tied to an experience from your emotions, right? Through your emotions, because the full moon energy is already in. You know, we have the full moon, the solstice. It's all this energy. Jupiter is expanding all of this, okay? And everything is showing up with communication also, how we communicate with each other, because as much as how everyone is so used to writing things, it's like things are shifting for you to start tapping in and feeling what's coming from your heart and expressing yourself, and anything that you've been holding on to, it has to come out. Because I say when you eat food and stuff like that, if you don't let it out, guess what? You become poison, right? So, well, it's the same thing with energy. As you're taking in things that you're hearing and experiencing, and also from other lifetimes, if it is not expressed out, it's expressing out now. So some of you might not be having such a, I would say, the same type of Christmases that you've celebrated, because I know for me, it's just a different energy that I'm in. It's like the joy that I'm feeling in my heart is not tied to the physical things and what's been celebrated before. It's a different type of celebration. And for some of you, if you're listening and watching this, you might get more triggered. You might get more activated, and that's a good thing, because something is happening, because you could feel it within your soul. You can feel it within your soul. And so I was contacted by a relative that's under the assumption. So if any of you are listening, my relatives, I love you with all my heart and soul, but Sharon's going to keep it going. Sharon's going to keep on keeping on, how I've always done. That's the one thing my mother always said to me when I was growing up. She said, "You're so stubborn." I said, well, if me never stubborn, then we wouldn't get certain things done, because you know what? I'm always tuning. My radio station is always on. It never turn off. Never. As soon as you start talking, soon as you send me information, if you're in contact with me, hey, just be prepared what's going to come out of my mouth, because it's not me. It's the energy. So think about what you have been facing within the past 24 to 48 hours. And it may seem like as if you have all these people, places, things that's coming at you, but it's not coming at you. It's coming through you. It's processing through you and that person, the events. You might find yourselves coming into contact with your relatives, because those of you who are on the twin soul path, your family is holding a frequency that you have to look at and observe and see what is showing up that you're transmuting with yourself and your twin soul counterpart. Okay, because we're doing it together here. Okay, And look at it as how much of a blessing is happening for you, because when you're constipated, it don't feel good, right? Well, think of it as a certain type of energy constipation that's moving itself out. It's getting uprooted out. If any of you have been having dreams about being in the bathroom, or in the bathtub, at the beach, anything to do with water, is because this has to do with what's showing up through your subconscious mind that is to be released. Okay? And so anyone that is coming up, what you feel is coming up against you, is not coming up against you. It's just something that is activating you and triggering you to how much more are you stepping into this inner power, right? Let's get a good love. I just gotta dance through this too. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. We're starting anew. Yes. Oh yes. I like to, baby. Woo! Music is also the language of the soul, you know. Messages come through music. Oh yes. Do it again. We're gonna do it again. Yes, we are. It's already happening. Soul was not made to stay in one place, I tell you. We're supposed to keep it moving. That's right. Hi, Trey. But we're doing it again in a different way. Got a hammer on the block, got to chisel away through all that. That's right. See, Julie, I don't do it the same thing all the time. I do it different every time. Sharon can't do the same thing all the time because you know why? It'll be boring. That's right. And so we're doing it again. We're doing it again. For any of you that don't know me, I'm Sharon Andrea, and I come with truth and power and light and love, okay? And when I speak and you hear me speaking in volumes and it comes through, and it's with passion, it's not me, it's the energy. Life don't suck. Everything is wonderful. Everything's beautiful. It's how you look at it. We're shifting and being conscious of the words we speak, because as you speak the words, you're creating. We're in this time of great manifestation, and this manifestation means that you're creating from the space of what you don't physically do, okay? Because everything was dumbed down through the patriarchal system and thinking you're supposed to go to a physical location and open up a book and then that's how you learn things. But this is about how you're connected to this through this Christ consciousness, through source energy, also known as God. Because some of you only want to hear the word God, like I said, that's the only word exists. No. The aspect of the divine is greater than the word God. It is omnipotent. Alpha, Omega, beginning, end, first, last, universes among universes, galaxies, okay? It's not just a little thing. So if you find yourself where you're working really hard and you're not balancing out your life right now, guess what? That's being broken down. So you either might be going through chaos and stuff at your job or your work or whatever business that you do, because you're being taken to a place where it's time to balance that out. Coming back into that creative energy where it's not just what you physically do. So some of you might find yourself in accidents, and I'm keeping it real. You might broke a foot, something, and you're going to be taken to the secret place of the Most High. You're going to be taken to that place where you got to tune in, you got to connect. If you're on a twin soul path, if you have met your twin soul, that means they're there to trigger you. And if you feel rejected, if you feel unloved, if you feel like you've been let down, if you feel in fear, all of these things, all this programming, they're in place to trigger you back to yourself, to true love. Everybody keeps seeking and seeking and seeking and seeking love, but you're looking for love in places that really that's not where it exists, because the true love starts from within you. And as you get closer and closer to your own empowerment and where it takes you, it is not going to be comfortable for those that are around you, because they're not used to this type of power. Okay? They're used to the power that's been given over another through having to go to specific places and being a certain way, and that's it. You know, that's the expectation. And you know, what I find to be so interesting is that the younger generation are connected and in tune to this change. They are. You see? So I'm in observance of all of this, and I find it to be so fascinating. You know what I mean? You might find yourself even for the moon cycles. The moon cycles, unfortunately, they're going to keep coming on in like how Spirit showed it to me. Some of you might be having more moon cycles than before because of how much activity is taking place on Earth right now. Because the way how it's shown to me is that it's speeding up so quickly that the divine masculine has been even more awakened to himself. And because he's been more awakened to himself, the way how it was for us when the, you know, most of the females that were awakening between the last 2 to 3 years, it is accelerating now because of where everything is at in terms of consciousness, in terms of how much more people are awakening. And then because of that now, they're having to go through the same things like, oh my gosh, what is this? And then remembering themselves. And again, this is dependent on where you are on your journey, because some of us are just awakening. There's some who are still working through acceptance, you know, like when you find out who you are and then you're realizing, oh my gosh, I'm in this illusionary world, and oh, this is fake and this is not real and this doesn't feel good and I can't stand this person. And it's because we're breaking through and busting through all these templates. We're busting through all this energy. You see what I'm saying? And so your moon cycle is going to be coming on more in frequency in response to what's happening with Mother Earth. So think of when Mother Earth is going through her moon cycle and there's a shedding, you know, you're shedding the old lining in, you know, like in your uterus, and it's having to break down. And this is the first time I'm getting into this, but that's how it's being shown to me. And everything is coming through either through anger, frustration, pain, sadness, depression, and it's taking you deeper. It's taking you deeper. Well, you're not happy right now, honey, because you're going through these shifts. You're going through massive amount of shifts, and especially those in the male bodies I'm talking about. This is when I'm referring to him and he now. I'm talking about the male bodies, which the male, yes, it's normal, Julian. It's normal to go through it. And it doesn't even matter what age you are, because some are having moon cycles like twice a month. And it's because of how, the response of what's happening with Mother Earth. That's what's going on. And so each one of us is like bearing new fruits. Okay. I had put out a segment last night, and that segment I did was based on a dream that I had last week Monday on the, was it last week Monday? No, actually it was on 12/12. And it's in reference to Guyana, which that's where my two divine masculine are from. You're not suffering. You're going through rapid changes. And how it's shown to me is that the masculine energy is now having to tap into their feminine energy within themselves. And for those on the twin soul path, you're now feeling even more connected to your feminine counterpart. You see what I'm saying? And being connected to your own feminine counterpart is about how much are you following your intuition? How much are you connecting to yourself, with nurturing yourself, right? And all the things that you have been taught and perceived from growing up, and how much are you healing your inner child wounds as a man, and feeling that you're not supposed to express yourself, you're not supposed to express your emotion. What are your feelings towards females? Do you feel that females are a certain thing for you, whether it's an object or subject or ownership? Or do you feel she's ratchet and this and that? You know, think about how you feel about it, because you see, all of that stuff is what you're going to have to face. How do you feel about your mother? You know, do you feel that, you know, your mother is overbearing? Are you a mommy's boy? You know, there's so many different categories of what, as far as the male children growing up. And one of the things that has happened is that they have not been able to feel and express themselves in this truity. I had a download channel that came through yesterday, which that's going to be released later on, you know, because I said put another segment together. I would urge to go in sequential order so everything makes sense, you know, when we put all the pieces together. And so what was shown to me is that imagine what the world would be like when we're singing and dancing, that even when we're speaking, we're singing when we're speaking. It's not just speaking in words. You see, because, you know, when I grew up in all the churches, I grew up in the, I went to Presbyterian, Baptist, Episcopalian, Catholic, Protestant, all of them. And it's like the dogma. Oh, you're not supposed to dance. Oh, you're supposed to cover up yourself. Oh, you're not supposed to. And the dream that I had to do with the coming together and dancing and singing and praising in a different way. You see what I'm saying? And celebrating the goddess, celebrating the energy of what comes together with as the goddess. You see, because that principle was taken out of the equation, and almost every dream I've had for the past 3 to 4 months in relation to my divine masculine, I was always being taken to being in a church with them, okay? And some of the church was in Guyana, okay, which still represents the Caribbean, where things started from Mother Africa, where many of our colored folks especially were enslaved, and it came through from the Europeans, and then some of them came to the islands. And so as I've been working through rewinding back everything that has been programmed, we recall during the time of Atlantis, okay, and the Moria, and the separation consciousness, the separation of those who were together, and the knowledge and everything, and creating, oh, if you do this and get this, then you're committing sin, you know, with getting knowledge. And that's because that was supposed to dim the level of freedom with each person, and not connecting to the feminine energy, and not connecting to the true essence of love. And so we're rewinding back into remembering ourselves, what that means. So usually in those other countries, especially overseas, where you have the Pakistan, the Indian, and all of them, something there, a lot of them have such a degradation of the feminine principle. And I'm going to give you another service announcement. Unu will not get me to go over there until when things change even more, because I will continue to be in my full expression of the divine feminine. Full expression. And it will always be that way. And it will not change as far as that, because she's risen. She's risen. And so for those females in the female body, there's some fears that you might still be carrying as far as expressing yourself because of the programming, which includes maybe what you wear, what you dress, making choices, your age, you know, and feeling that, me no want to wear no makeup because I'm not natural, or we wear no short skirt because I'm not supposed to show my legs, because the energy of the feminine in her expression brings a frequency on the planet that sets us free. So that's the reason why I not care if anybody get mad from where in their religion and all the other culture, them where they tell the woman they say they must cover up their eyes and their face when it's 90 degrees outside. Does that make any sense? And think about how much programming is in place with that. You see? And the energy of the goddess is sacred. It's not about just saying you're looking at her and thinking, ooh, she's a freak and this and that. No, there's an energy that comes from the essence of the true sacred goddess in terms of connecting to the essence of the goddess, okay, in all of her glory and body parts, that it's not degraded and it's not diminished. And mina kia, again, that means I don't care. Whether you want to say there's something to do with the breasts and the ass, because everything keep popping up to do with ass and breasts, especially the ass and all that stuff. Seek to know, seek to retain knowledge as far as where it started from. Because all of that is in the book that I'm doing, The Return of the Garden of Eden. Where did twerking start? What did it mean? Love your bodies. Especially for our black females. Love your body for your size. And stop make people tell us that because what you eat and all that stuff. Yes, eat healthy, but guess what? If it's in your genetics to have a wide ass, wide hips, big breasts, it's in your DNA. It's in your DNA. Love yourself who you are. Dress how you feel. Be in your expression. For those who tell say, oh, I don't wear makeup, I don't wear it, because it's something that enhances and raises your vibration. I had the pleasure of talking to someone that said, sure, and I said, well, you know, what if you just did a little bit? Do you think maybe you think about what level you may get when you change something about, change your hairstyle, do something? Again, that had to do with the diminishing of the feminine in coming from the patriarchal system controlling females, because they didn't want anyone to be excited. They wanted to dim down anything that's going to be with raising the vibration. Dancing. What you wear, how you dress, how your hair look, all them things there. Even when me was there, wanted to talk to my family about burning incense, I want to say that is not of God. Are you kidding me? It's that type of ignorance is what I'm talking about. And so everybody just walk around like robots, you know, getting up every day, and you're still so unhappy. Still so unhappy. Because it's time for you to tap into where your programming comes in. Where did it start from? Okay, regardless of what path you're on. Everyone is going through something in their life right now to be paying attention, because this is what Spirit is doing, to get your attention for you to, and it's your higher self also. You have a higher self. Everybody have a higher self. Me no business if you want, believe it or not, but you have a higher self. And that higher self is what connects you to source energy in terms of receiving the downloads, the information, what comes through, where to go. I don't even have to use my GPS on my phone because I allow my higher self to guide me. My soul leads the way. Your soul leads the way to where you are to be, and letting go of the attachments that you have to the physical things. You see? And balancing this out. And that means that even like how Julian was asking about the moon cycle is also a representation of the menstrual cycle, because it was written in some cultures, okay? In most cultures I would say there's a taboo with women having a menstrual cycle. Even in my country, I'll never forget when they tell, oh, you mustn't go around anybody we're dead when you're on your menstrual cycle because they do something or another, or the dopey wicked, whatever. It's just all these programming, and not understand that the menstrual cycle plays a very cleansing time frame for the female. And also what I'm getting is that if you're having a menstrual cycle 2-3 times a month, or even if sometimes it might stop and you have a long gap before you have it again, because you might be going through a spiritual pregnancy, feeling like you're pregnant, having swelling of the feet and all that stuff. And it's because of the energy that is being transmuted from earth. And each time when you're having a menstrual cycle, that's another time frame where you are able to manifest and think about all the things that is coming into creative space on earth. You see what I'm saying? And it's happening through your womb space. And so that's why you're also having the menstrual cycle. And what I'm also hearing and noticing is that most of the females are having their cycles around the same time. It's like as if I'm hearing that there's more synchronizations of females having their menstrual cycle around the same time as other females, because everything is happening through you with what's happening with Mother Earth. That's exactly what's happening. So anyway, I guess I was supposed to say those things, but I want to get back to the inner power thing again. So I had it's sort of like a past life memory, but not quite past life memory, because also what will happen as you keep coming through this energy of remembering yourself and merging in that inner divine masculine feminine energy within you, what's going to happen is you might play out something that occurred in your past life when you were having this power, but then it was sort of taken away because of things that fell from what they call the dissension in consciousness, okay? And when the masculine turned away from the feminine counterparts, okay? And what happened is I have been getting some downloads as far as what happened during the time of Atlantis, when what they call it, that was when they had the the flood from Genesis, okay, from Genesis. And what happened during that time, there were especially a lot of females that did come into their own in power, or they were in that point of being in their own power. And then what ended up happening was that they were either imprisoned or killed or murdered or something like that. Okay, that's what happened. So what happened to me today, I got a phone call overseas, and it came from my relative, okay? And this was a relative, which I already had the feeling, because I told her, I said, let me tell you something. I said, no matter what is said to me, I am going to continue on my path. I'm going to still keep speaking, and I'm still going to keep doing and being who I am regardless. And so she said to me, oh, you must be doing, I must be doing evil because whichever family members watching me on Facebook, keep watching, because Sharon's still going to keep doing what you're doing. And Sharon going to still keep being who she's being, because I'm not in charge. The divine is in charge. So no matter how much free will we have, divine will supersedes anything anybody else feel that they want to run away from, because we cannot run away from ourselves, and we cannot run away from the truth, and we cannot run away from our own personal healing that we must take responsibility for. And it's not a punishment. We are rewinding back and working through the lineages from your mothers, especially because it comes through the mitochondrial DNA. If you're dealing with abandonment, rejection, feeling like you don't count, and you weren't able to speak up or empower yourself, or you're not able to express yourself with your gifts and your power. And so because I said that I'm a psychic, I don't use the word psychic, I'm an empathic reader and a medium, and I'm here to help people to heal, and I'm here to do spiritual work, and where I'm led by the Holy Spirit to where I'm to be, whatever name. Do you see what I'm saying? And it's like every time I'm in my joy, here comes the dichotomy, okay? I don't want to say this evil. So I said to her, this is what I said to her. I said to my aunt, I said, I haven't spoken to you in 3 years. Do you have all the information? Do you have all the data? Do you know what has been happening? No. But at the same time, I knew something was breaking down. So she said to me, oh, that I'm doing things and that things are happening around the family. And I have no idea what it is. Because as far as what I know, everybody's going through something. But the question you have to ask yourself, what is your perception of what's happening? So you see yourself at a loss with things, or an illness, or someone has passed away in your family, and then another person passed away in your family, and another person has a disease of the body like cancer, stroke. I spoke about this. Do you understand and know where it's coming from? Are you aware of what's really happening? Or are you looking at it as if to say somebody's doing something? Because that's another programming that exists, especially in our culture. You know, as soon as something happens, you look at it as negative and say that somebody doing something. And then it's carried on from one generation to the next, instead of seeking wisdom and understanding. And so the next question was asked, because you see, this is what Yeshua, also known as Jesus, because some of you don't like to hear the name Yeshua, because you want to hear only Jesus and God, as if that's the only name that existed. You see, because you allow yourself to continue to be programmed with what you feel you must know. And ask yourself this question: do you know where it started from? And whoever wrote whatever was written in the Bible, okay, how do you know what was true or not? Were you there? Were you there? Were you there? No. So Spirit is taking you to this place, whether you like it or not, where it's time to tune into the new energy of what is really happening, and to under, and understand what's happening. So when I tell them that there is no Jesus coming in the clouds, that offended. And I still stayed on path with what I had to say. So the great question that was asked to me was, do I believe in the Lord Jesus Christ? Because that's how it starts out. Because you see, that's when they come in now, and then them traffic gonna twist up the word them, and they want to make it look like, say, you're really in the devil and all the name them they created. And so this is how I answered with wisdom. I said, you know, whatever I'm going to respond to you with, just remember this now, that however the answer comes out to you, it is none of my business how you perceive it. Just remember that. So here goes. I said, well, Yeshua, also known as Jesus, that people get upset because they don't want to hear the real name of who he was. He was also on a path with bringing consciousness on the planet through the light. And it wasn't able to be succeeded. And so most of our colored folks, black people, Jamaican, no business, which part of the black, have been programmed through Constantine, that brought on all these things because they did not want the truth to come out about where the true power comes with this energy. So you're supposed to just allow yourself to go and have someone tell you who you are allowing to tell you how you should live your life, and that to disintegrate the feminine principle. And even when I said yes, and female God and mother God, and I was like, ooh, boy, it's like, ooh. I told this to my children and my son. I said, boy, when me start talk on TV and thing, I'm gonna say, boy, the fembot energy will come. Everybody just gonna be like, ooh, no, what is she saying? Oh my Lord, oh well. You see? Tough titties, that's my motto. Tough titties, because the truth is the truth is the truth, and it shall set you free. And that's why I love when when the conversation started and it was said, oh, how you doing? I said, I feel great. I feel great. That's what I said. I feel great. Ball's not the answer. Ooh. We've got to find a way to bring some loving here today. Oh, wicked signs. And I'm going to keep on speaking. Woo! Mother, ooh. There's no... Father, 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 and Mother, Mother. Did you hear what he said? Mother, Mother, Mother. That's right. So I'm back again. I apologize. I went and accepted a friend request whilst that someone sent to me because it popped up and then it cut me off, and I should have remembered that consciously. I should remember that consciously when it had happened before, but it's all good. It's all good. So I'm back again. What I was saying was that they was coming with this energy of, well, let me see how she's doing and feeling, because then if I wasn't, if I was coming across like I was sad or unhappy or any of those emotions, then I'm not doing the right thing. You see, so I want you to be aware of that, because that's how the manipulating energies come through. And then it might make you feel like, gosh, am I really doing something wrong here? Oh my gosh, no, I don't want to go to hell, because it's all that programming to put you in fear, into thinking that when you are speaking your truth and living your truth, and that you are detaching again from all of those programming. You see what I'm saying? And so it's very imperative to be conscious of what you are having in your energy space as you are awakening and not even just awakening. I'm talking about when you're at, because you're going through stages of this power. You're going through stages of this inner power. And that means that as you are ascending, and if you're on the twin soul path and you're connecting to your twin soul partner, that energy is still going to present itself as you saying, I am that I am. And even as you am that you am, the opposite of that I am is going to show itself. So I had a little memory that seeped into my soul at the time I was having the conversation, because when I see that number show up, 876, we say, wait, Jamaica calling me out? What we say, wait, oh wow. So, and because I knew the significance of today, that this is the solstice, right? And it's not even 12 o'clock where I am, that this is the solstice. I knew that something was finally breaking from me to do with that programming, and what has been a block for me, and more like has been a block for you, because the biggest thing that was shown to me, which is why sometimes they don't really like me, because Sharon always break the code, me always break the code. Every time I break the code. That's right. And I told her, I said, I know y'all are talking about me. I always know when somebody's talking about me, but most of the people talking about me, they love me, and that's what counts, And I'm not saying she don't love me, but nothing is going to stop this. Nothing. So anyway, so when I said to her, my response to her to do with Jesus, right? I said, well, here goes. Be prepared for the answer that I'm going to give to you. Because if you don't like the answer what I'm going to give to you, I am not going to allow myself to be drained or feel bad or guilty, or it's going to change anything because of how you perceive it. I say, you want to look at what is happening with me as if I'm doing evil because I post on Facebook that I do spiritual readings and I'm a medium. Yeah, yes, I am. And I'm telling you to this way, and don't think that I'm not understanding that this is necessary, but I just want to let you know how much I just don't let it bother me, and I really don't give fucks. I just don't. The only thing I give that's important for me is giving love, but as far as fucks, I just give none. I give none. That's why I look good or me look, I feel good or me feel good, because I just not give none at all. You could ask my kids. They can confirm it with you. Oh yeah. Okay. So anyway, I proceeded to answer her question. I said, well, Jesus walked the planet, also known as Yeshua, and he came to bring consciousness on the planet. And during those times, the people were more ignorant. And so then my uncle started talking about, with Jesus coming in the cloud. So I told him, I said, that's the funny thing is that you're thinking somebody's coming in the cloud, but ain't nobody coming in the cloud. And I said, this is an energy. It's an energy. And then they wanted to proceed. So what energy I have within me. So I said, the energy I have within me, you have energy too. I said, that's what the thing is, that you're focusing on the physical things and you only want to see what you want to see because it's based on what you were taught. I said, to get to this place with where I see what I see, you got to let it go. And when you don't let it go, you're going to keep having more experiences come into your life for you to pay attention. That's all there is to it. Because the way it's shown to me is the way I receive my messages. You may not get messages the same way as me. And she starts saying, oh, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. I said, what do you see what I'm doing? What are you seeing? You're seeing something based on your perception of what you're having to process through to do with what is happening in your space because of what's happening on the planet. I said, whatever I'm experiencing, which is still through her though, that's the interesting thing, because of what's breaking down. With her, she carries the frequency of fear. And then with my uncle, he was carrying the frequency of that patriarchal energy that still wants to try to say, my way is the right way, but your way is not the right way. Who are you? You're just a woman. Or no, I'm older than you and I'm a pastor. But you know what was interesting? He was more open than my aunt, who was more spiritual, that turned away from me. I find this to be so fascinating because I study all of this, how all this whole thing plays out and how it shows itself and, yada, yada, yada. And so I already had a feeling that something was happening in my within my family, which represents my union. It represents my union because it has to do with the changes that are happening. And as I continue to break down the walls and disintegrate the old energy and the thoughts and stuff like that, the same thing is happening with them. I also find it to be interesting that for some people who awaken, they may turn to religion and all that stuff. And it's okay, because as you are awakening, the first thing that people do is that's when they turn to God. Is when things start to go so bad and they don't know what to do, then they turn to God, and then they start to punish themselves and feel guilty and stuff like that. And it's not about feeling guilty. It's about tapping into the inner self and to know thyself. And so what was disintegrated in past times is not to know thyself. That thyself is to go to someone to tell you how to live your life, tell you how to live, tell you how to be, tell you where to be and all that kind of stuff. And you're punished and hanged and all that. So I realized as I stepped through this portal energy where I was, and how I know where I am energetically, where I am with my own inner union. And so I had that memory of myself when I was Nefertiti, when there was plotting against me to stop the energy of what was coming in to do with this new consciousness. You see? Because I stay in the present moment. I don't stay in the past. I'm not in, and when you say, oh, why don't you read this book or that? The last time I read a book was when my son Damon was born. And he's 21. That's the last time I read a book. You know what book me read? The book coming from my heart that connect me to source. That's my book. Because you know why? Because there's I don't need no filter. It's not covered in fear and dogma and from what somebody else has said. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm not saying not going to the past, because what's shown to me is that everything that has existed with the Akashic records, eventually it's going to be closed. So we won't have to go back into the memory of all the things that didn't serve us. Why do you think the book that I'm doing is an audio book? Because I even said, imagine if the Bible was audio. Do you think you probably have a different perception of what really happened? Now, don't get me wrong. I've had to still go through scriptures to decode certain things, because I've decoded certain things, but I just didn't go deeply into it. And I was supposed to know about it growing up, so that way I can use it to refer to certain things that were written that are coming forth now. Is anyone aware of the fact that what was written in the book of Revelations that is happening now? How much longer do you think it was going to take? I kept saying to my uncle, he said, oh, do you believe in the second coming of Christ? I just thought that was so interesting, because it's almost like the energy of source is looking at itself and saying, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, how I perceive it. No, look at me, how I perceive it. And I told him, I said, I'm not going to tell you how to believe in anything I'm saying. I said, this has nothing to do with belief. I said, this has to do with what's happening. You know what I'm saying? But you may not see this, like me seeing a 6 and you seeing a 9. Yeah, 69. That's right. Even that too, they had something against that too. And I said, if only they knew, not they who are speaking to, I'm just talking about most of humanity, that the true attainment to connection to God, the highest level of consciousness, to reach to that level of consciousness is through sacred sexual love. And that's the reason why it was tabooed and pulled away and disintegrated, because if most of us was able to sustain that third energy, right, with the ones who are on the twin soul path, what do you think would happen to the earth? I spoke about that in the book many, many times. If everyone was in that space of true divine love, sacred sexual, in their total blissfulness, because there's different levels to this type of what we call happiness or joy. The highest level is blissfulness. Blissfulness. This is where your whole body is vibrating on a frequency like a spin top. And when you are in that frequency and energy, that is how we were created. How do you think it started in the first place? And this is why it's important to go deep within and ask yourself questions. If I have a thought about something and a feeling about something, where did it come from? Where did it start? What is the root to it? Okay? If you are experiencing anything that you're not understanding why it's repeating itself, then you ask yourself, where did it start from? Did it start from childhood? Did it start from something that you experienced in this life and you've been running away from it, and now it's time for you to face yourself, right? And so I proceeded on the conversation, because I remembered, Yeshua came through to me and said, well, tell him about when, yes, I do get communication from you. Yes, I do. I'm just joking, but then I'm not. And so I said, imagine during this time, the king was looking for a child to kill because they knew that this child was going to what? To shift things in the world. And so a dream came to Joseph to tell the mother of that child to move from where she was because they were trying to destroy the child. Right? And by the way, Yeshua really embodied the feminine principle and Mary Magdalene was the masculine principle. That's right. So anyway, what's interesting about it, I said, so Yeshua embodied the energy and he was able to master things in seconds. And he went from years to months to days, and then hours and seconds. He was able to manifest. And this is the time that we're in, to be able to manifest things rapidly. Okay? Rapidly. Instantly. And that means that even before you think the thought, something is already in creation before it comes into your space. You see? And so I said to them, I said, now, when Yeshua walked the planet and they were after him to kill him, the king said, well, what has this man done for me to have to kill him? Why should he be killed, right? He's done so much for people. And this is what's happened to so many twin souls, is that we have sacrificed and given so much to people to help for the planet to ascend and come through with all this love and everything. But now is the time where everything that we have done to, to disintegrate and purging through whatever has been sustained on earth is now lifted more, so that more people are going to be awakening as this solstice gateway continues on towards the end of this month into the new year. There's going to be more rapid awakenings happening on the planet. I'm telling you the truth. And so I said to them at the time, I said, well, imagine the king wanted to kill him. To follow orders, because people wanted to be killed, and still he didn't do anything, right? Wrong. But the people, just because it wasn't according to their understanding, you see? So it's like the same similar type of energies what's happening now. I am at a different place consciously, and not everyone is. And this is why there's some confusion among people, because they feel that there's something out there out to get them and all these type of things, instead of really, really paying attention to, well, if this is happening here, over here, and over there, there must be something to pay attention to. What is really going on here? And this is where Spirit is taking you to go deep within, And that every time you get triggered by something right now in this time space, when you get triggered by something, that means there's something else coming up for your healing. You see? And I stayed centered when I was talking to them on the phone. And I told them, I said, even though whatever Yeshua was facing and he knew what was coming, he knew it had to happen anyway. But this time around, it's here to stay. And nothing is going to stop it. You see? And so I said, if there was a physical person that was still going to come, you even wouldn't believe that was Jesus anyway. How would you know? How would you know? How would you know? And you see, that's why I say, the little me, I know my kids don't like when I say me. The little me, when I say think for a moment here. Think for a moment here how this is playing itself out. You see? And so the reunion of masculine and feminine, let me rephrase that. The reunion of the divine masculine and divine feminine is what is templating now. And most of you, or some of you, are more likely in a stage of embodying it, especially if you've been on your path for over at least maybe 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, or a very long time. And so as we are templating this energy embodied within ourselves, is called the Christed soul. It's like whatever how you are connecting online with the knowledge, and more wisdom is going to keep coming, because the mind of God is just flowing through us, because as we are setting and letting go of all the belief systems and the programming and all that stuff, it's going to keep coming in. You see what I'm saying? And so as we are doing this, you might come across where you might have contact from anyone around you, possibly during this season, for you to probably be questioning, where your soul is saying, are you really ready for this? Are you standing in your truth? Are you speaking your truth and walking it also at the same time? Are you still in fear of your journey? Are you in fear of your path and where it's being taken? Are you going to compromise yourself to make your family or anyone else around you happy because of what is happening here right now? Because it's really happening, you see? And as I put the pieces together to everything that I'm witnessing, and I know because of the feeling that's coming within me, okay, where I'm feeling it in my solar plexus, then I know that the change is happening. And now it's starting to come in even more rapidly as it is rooting in the earth, okay? It's rooting in the earth. That's what's happening. We are embodying it on earth, just like on earth as it is in heaven. And so most of the divine masculine is awakening to remembering themselves, and also, I don't like to use the word mission, but as far as what your soul purpose is. Your soul purpose is not just about your day-to-day 3D living. It's about your soul purpose of what you're here to even shine more light through the darkness, okay? And the darkness is not necessarily tied to somebody doing evil. This has to do with what's in the dark. Even in Jamaica, they said, boy, in darky, man. There's a reason why they say that. They say, in darky, man, meaning that it's ignorance. It's ignorance. That's what it is. And ignorance is based on what one does not know and understand. And therefore, they jump to their own conclusions, even though they didn't seek to understand. They didn't seek to gather up information or put information together. It's time to go deeper and stop going on the surface with things now. And stop sitting back waiting for someone to tell you who you are and what your path is. It's about you finding out who you are, and not based on what was programmed before. Because as you awaken to yourself and it comes to your memory, and then you're like, oh gosh, this is who I am. Because I had to go through that. I had to go through that too. When it was shown to me who I was, I'm not talking about the Nefertiti part. I'm talking about the part from the beginning, before that time, with the two brothers. And when I found that out, I was in depression for 3 months, because I said, oh my, all I could think about is all the ignorance of people, and when people try to hurt you because they don't want to hear the truth, and that's all of that stuff. I had to go through all of that. And all of you are going to go through the same thing as you awaken to yourself. And then you got to go to your self-acceptance. And then after you go to the self-acceptance and you say, yes, I'm strong and I know who I am. And then what happens is you might come up against someone else in another way that may, judge you. And then are you still going to be loving yourself and accept it? Because they're doing you a favor. Because it's like, how much are you in acceptance and not resistance? Okay. And the more you resist anything, like Neil Donald Walsh says, is the more that it persists. Okay. We're not here. I'm going to say something else in part of what it means, and I'll explain it to you. We're not here to do dibby stuff. We're here to be in greatness. Okay. Greatness is not to do just little minimized things. We're bringing gifts to the planet, gifts and embodying something that has never, ever come to its fruition. You see, all the messengers, all the leaders, all the ones who incarnated, including Yeshua, the Krishna, the Buddha. If you know more, please put them down there. They were all, chastised, criticized, judged. You see? And so, it's like even today I went to my jewelry shop to get a costume jewelry I had to be repaired. And I called them up and I said, hey, and I didn't get no text, that it was ready. So anyway, I went there, and when I went in there and I was behind the counter, I didn't know there was a little dog behind the counter. Do you know that the little dog sensed my energy, hearing my voice, because the dog couldn't see me, and purposely came around the counter just to come and greet me and give me love, just like that. Does the dog know me? No. Did the dog ever see me before? No. A little tiny, beautiful poodle dog. And I felt so much love coming from that little dog. And I said, imagine that. The dog didn't even know me. The dog didn't see me, but felt my energy and felt my presence. The dog wasn't thinking and had no attachment, I believe, to any experiences or dogma or anything like that. And you wonder why you're not experiencing love, because of pushing love away and telling love to how you think love is supposed to show up. And God has shown us, you see, I'm using God now, has shown us how much love there is, and you push it away. What are you waiting for? For somebody to be a martyr? Well, guess what? Most of us now have been getting the messages that we're not saving anyone. I'm not speaking this out to save anyone. I'm speaking this out because I'm guided to. That's what I go by, my inner guidance. Wherever I'm to be, I will be. Wherever I am, I am. And I will continue to be who I am. And I'm giving this as a service announcement. I'm going to continue to do my segments. I'm going to continue to do readings that are assisting those who are of need, of clarity, because the more I hear someone is healing and coming into their union space, right? And even greater when I hear you're in that physical union space, I am ecstatic. You know why? I go talking to Patron. Come bored. Because I know I see what the new earth looks like. I feel it, and it's already here. And now it's going to start to show. And so I told my aunt, I said, it's so funny how you haven't spoken to me in 3 years. And yet still, I've been getting messages all morning, today, yesterday. Sharon, thank you so much for being here for me and helping me to heal. Thank you so much for putting out this segment. Thank you so much for being obedient to spirit. Thank you so much for continuing. Thank you so much for how you put it all together. Thank you so much for standing in your truth. Thank you so much for staying in your power. Thank you so much for being who you are. And that's what I'll continue to be. So that's why the first video, I was playing Cardi B. Yeah. And the difference with her, when I think about her, and I'm not pitting one against the other, is that she may be raw and you might say she ghetto, but guess what? She upfront. She speaks her truth and she walks it. So she licked the woman with the shoe. She was expressing herself and saying that's not appropriate. But guess what? Some of you are hiding in the closet and you have all these skeletons in there and you still don't want to face yourself and heal thyself. So before you point fingers, always remember to point it back at yourself. And for those out there, if you feel any part of you feeling disempowered, then you ask yourself, what can I do to feel empowered again? And how you can allow yourself to feel empowered again. These are my mottos, okay? So if you get offended by bad words, and who said it's a bad word? I talk about words, in this book, what it really means. Look it up what fuck really means, because, when somebody calls bad word in them language, does it offend me? Not at all, because I don't know. So why would it offend me? If me cuss bad word in Jamaican or Patois, everybody else start to laugh because they're not Jamaican, So just like the universal word is love, for some people it's an expression of what we are bringing forth in how we feel and how we're feeling at the time that we are relating it to each other. So my mottos are, stay in your lane. If you don't like how I speak or I deliver my message, then go in another lane. I am not here to gain followers or to be popular or to make anyone feel better. I am here to be myself. My mission, or my soul mission, is to be myself and to be in love, because I'm interested in being in love. I'm interested in true love, being in love and being the expression of love, always, in every way, at all times, every time. And nothing shall take that away from me. And I shall proceed with being in love and being the expression of love with who I love. If it's one and two, because I'm in love with two, because that is my template on the earth for having and being the higher expression of love. So when anyone tells me true love is about when people kill each other, I say, well, why do you think people kill each other? People kill each other because there's a pain that is within you that is of need to be addressed. So people who hurt people is because they're hurt. And it's time to stop covering it up with the band-aids and the bullshit. Okay? It's time to rip off the band-aid and look at yourself to where the pain is coming from. If it's coming from your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your lovers, your exes, your ex, everything. Look at it. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, where is it coming from? Okay? Because the more you stay in your power, the more it's going to amplify for those who are uncomfortable with your power. I am not uncomfortable with my power, because even when you get your power, you start getting uncomfortable with your power too. Like, oh gosh, I don't know if I can do this. And sometimes we always want somebody to validate that power for us to feel better. It's not about having someone else validate it. Okay? You're good enough. So you stay in your lane and you really don't give any fucks whatsoever, because the minute you start to give fucks, you're giving away back your power. That's right. You sure are. 3, stay in love. Stay in love as much as possible. Raise the bar. Do the things that make you happy. If you are at an age, which it doesn't matter, because age is just a number. It's just a number. Whatever you've always felt you wanted to do as a child, do it, and stop thinking and second guessing. Stop going in the head and trying to make it make sense to you. If you're in love and you're feeling that in loveness, and in love is not necessarily tied to a person. It could be tied to being in love with a particular food. You know, much time I tell myself, say, boy, I don't know if I want to eat the chocolate, you know. I don't know if I want to eat this thing because I go put on my body again. I don't have the metabolism like before. You know what? Sometimes I just say, fuck it, yeah. And then, another calorie come on. And I say, try me just go do it again. And you know what? I feel better because, you know what? I did it. And so I did it. So it's all in moderation. It's in moderation, It's about how do you balance yourselves with your feelings and your thoughts, and tuning into your feelings and your thoughts and your emotions, and listening to what your soul is saying to you. Listening to what your soul is saying to you and how you're feeling about it. And not place it on the dogma. And where is he just ate chocolate? Man, when I get them sweet tooth, it's no joke. No joke at all when we get that sweet tooth. You see what I'm saying? But you know what? It's a part of the process, because as we're going through these ascensions, your body is going to be responding to the energies as you go through these shifts. Means that you might feel sleepier. Yesterday I didn't go to bed till like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. I was like, oh, I got to get at least my 5-6 hours. And you know what? I couldn't even sleep because my soul was like, no, we're not sleeping. This is too exciting. And my body was like, but no, we're tired. I'm like, and this is what it's like. I think about it just like the Nutty Professor. Remember the Nutty Professor when he made the formula because he wanted to look skinny so he can get the girl? And after all that was said and done, he had to end up finding himself by what? By going through hell. And he had to accept himself for who he is, because you see, when he tried to make himself conform to what society wanted him to be nice and slender and to be so, right? And then what? He turned up being ugly inside. That other part of him came out that wasn't the true representation of himself. And so he had to love himself, and didn't even realize that that she loved him just the way that he is. You see? Just the way that he is. And that's what it is to you, for you to love yourself just the way you are and what you desire, and don't allow anyone to disempower you because they want you to feel guilty, and then they're manipulating you to live the life in what you've been taught, and then use the words, oh, if you don't do this, then I'm going to do that. That control. All of that is coming from the patriarchal system. And I want you to know, after everything that I've just said, it's all on purpose. We're all on purpose here. Because the soul desires to know itself. And we know what we know. Your soul has all the answers. And the soul, the over-encompassing aspect of the soul, desired to know itself. And the way how it wanted to know itself, it had to separate itself. And so it separated itself through gender, culture, right? All the different lands went into separation. And then it broke down further and further. Then, you know, people argue over light skin, dark skin, blue skin. Who gives a fuck? It's not about your skin. When you leave out of your body, do you think your soul is concerned about your culture, your background, how much money you had, and prestige and power, and how much women you slept with or men you slept with and all that stuff? All of that is just programming and emotions that you're attached to based on what? More programming. And you got to be very conscious to and mindful of, you know, you have, I call it the energy that it's like even go in another level deeper below the other one, because sometimes it just sneaks right in, you know, and then people say, Takshar, how were you able to see that? I said, because I see it. And that's why I felt like anything that I've tried to do from back then, it was that resistant energy that was within me because of the blocks that were creating within me that showed up through people. So even as much as I could look at it as the phone call that I got, it was almost like the last test, sort of like, do you really know who you are? I'm so happy. And then all of a sudden, the phone calls come in or this, that, and you know, and then it's how do you stay centered in your own inner peace, no matter what is happening, so that even if you know you're getting a phone call right now or tomorrow or the next few hours that this person has developed this, or this person has transitioned, or this person left this person. Are you understanding with greater wisdom what is happening on the planet? Are you preparing yourself for this? Because even if you're not prepared, it's being prepared for you. It's being prepared for you. And like I said, everything that is occurring is not what has ever happened before. It has never happened before. It's all new. We're recreating our new kingdoms and queendoms. And we no longer have to feel like as if anyone is going to dim this light or anyone is going to try to take away from what is rightfully yours. That's right. And are we going to live happily ever after? It's your choice. It's all choice. There is such a thing. So it's either you choose to live happily ever after while you're in the physical body, because let me tell you something, there are many souls that do not, I repeat, they do not incarnate on the planet. So for anyone who's here on the planet, give yourself a pat on the back because you chose to come through this in this vessel. That even the ones who represent the opposition, they're helping you, because if they did not come and oppose you, just like chess, even though I don't play chess, how would you be able to see what is showing up in the opposition or the contrast, which is an even lighter energy? Because, you know, when I think of the word opposition, it makes me think of, you know, somebody's out to get me. Ooh, you know, it's like I was even talking about, you know, scary movies. Like if you didn't have the music in the background, would it really be that scary? Like Jaws, like the minute you hear, you know, the shark is getting near. But if you didn't have the music in the background, it wouldn't be so scary after all. So think about it. If you didn't have all that stuff that you've been collecting in energy for centuries, not just this lifetime, if you didn't have all of that, think about where you could be right now in what you are creating. That you're now creating from a space of magic. You're now creating from a space of magic that flows through from this consciousness that comes together through the knowledge, the wisdom that comes from the knowledge. Because you don't just gain wisdom, you got to have the knowledge. And then through the knowledge, as it flows through you, you gain wisdom. And this knowledge was what flowed through, coming through from the feminine principle. She gave birth to the sun, the S-U-N, through the sun, and created a son, the S-O-N. And then she started to co-create and create everything on earth. And so we're in a different energy of co-creation. The way we were created, the way it's shown to me by Spirit, is that we have been recreating and being rebirthing and giving rebirthing to ourselves and the divine masculine. All of it, going through a purified state. That's why I kept dreaming so much about water. The North Node is in Cancer. It's about water. It's about your emotions and how much are you tapping into your emotions and feeling into things now, and not base it on what, you know, you hear. Even if you hear something or you see something, what is your heart saying to you? What is your heart speaking to you? For those of you who haven't heard from your twin souls, what is your twin saying to you from the subconscious? Because you share that same energetic space as they are. Okay? And you're coming back into that space of self-love and true love, and not measuring the time, the distance, the weight. WEIGHT. Oh, I'm not ready because I look too this or that, you know, or it's loving you the way you are. Loving you the way you are. And that coming into this acceptance means that as anything that shows up as the contrast to what you call the opposite or whatever is opposing you, that it's still showing up for you, declaring yourself even more with who you are. At the moment you hear or see something, stop for that moment before you respond to it, you know, with anger or panicking or anything like that, and ask yourself, what is my soul showing me? What is my soul speaking to me with right now? Are you seeing the signs that are shown to you by spirit? I mean, I get synchronizations off the chain. Even today, the synchronizations I saw was Egyptian, and I saw GUI, Guyana, again linking to Mother Gaia, and how much everything is ascending. It is through the feminine principle, the feminine energy, that we are healing. And that means that you're online on a new grid. You're online on a new grid where you are connecting to your feelings, but in a healthier way. So you have emotional balance. You operate from emotional integrity. You let go of your fears. Fear is a heck of a thing, though, I tell you. It can grip you like no tomorrow. And what does fear do? Fear is tight, and it just closes in on you, and you feel panic, right? Isn't that what fear does? But love now, love expands. Love is open. Love is receptive. See? And when you're in that space of the feminine principle applied to this love, that means that you're operating from a space of receiving and saying and knowing that you deserve to have this love, and you're letting go of all the things that you have created as blocks towards this love. I received love from the little black dog. From the little black dog that didn't see me, but felt me. Didn't see me at all. And just came right around the corner and came straight up to me. That warmed my heart. And you know what? The dog was Mother Gaia. I felt her presence through the dog. And she's saying, I love you, Sharon. I love you for who you are, because you are representing me. And as each one of us continues to remember the representation of ourselves, right? On earth as in heaven, because you chose to come into this body. You chose to experience this so that way you can see yourself with who you are in all the aspects of you, not the human you, the galactic you. And it's those programming in place for you to not step into that role and to diminish yourself and this power because of the fear of this power. You see, where it's not power over another, but the power within. And it's almost like it creates a certain, like a shield. And your soul is like, my soul, she don't give a fuck. She is like, anything that is just not for me is just not coming in my direction. And because I hold within myself an embodiment of knowing all is well, and knowing that I'm on the right track. How? Because I feel it. Centered. You could look at me and probably think, oh, she has everything going for her, and she has all this. I don't have any physical thing that is bringing me this joy. No. I have acquired wealth within my soul. That's where the joy is coming from. I didn't win no $1 million. I didn't get this call to do. No, none of that. No. I have attained the wealth within my soul, filled with this wealth, filled with this joy, filled with the wonder and also the amazement and the magic of not knowing what's going to happen next. That's where the magic comes from also, is that even if you don't see what lies ahead, that you know in your heart that everything is working for the highest and best for you, no matter how it looks, no matter how it presents itself, and no matter what you think it may be because of how you perceive it to be. Because perception is a heck of a thing. You can go into so many different ways of perceiving something for what it be. And the thing about it is that sometimes when someone tells you what they see is what it is, because it is what they're seeing. And just to let go and know that that is where they're at. So you don't have to keep arguing back and forth. No, that's not it. Yes, this is it. No, I'm right. I'm wrong. No, just let it be. And when you keep that inner power and strength of staying within yourself, and that you don't have to necessarily get into a fight or, or get into the drama, the drama thing, that as you keep ascending, anyone who is at your vibration will come to you automatically. That's by the law of physics. I'm not even talking about the law of attraction. I'm above law of attraction, because the law of attraction is okay and you can attract things in your life. But when you're attracting it into your life, are you also considering that I want to attract it into my life and that it's here to stay, and that anything that I'm holding within myself to release and to set me free, that I am going to keep moving towards that? And energetically I'm talking. And if it's physical, you do something physical as well. So that way you don't have any of these blocks coming up. You know what I mean? And that as you keep working through and feeling and walking through this space, that you do not need anyone's permission. No, you do not. And that you don't have to give yourself away by necessarily telling someone, okay? Because it's very sacred. So sometimes it's so sacred that, you have the one that you tell them, and then all of a sudden them get jealous and envy over you because they're not in that space as you. And that's not your business. That's not your business how they respond to you. It's not their business to how they feel. And I'm not saying that you're to tie any fear into what you may say to someone. Just be mindful and conscious, because they're walking with energy that they're having to work through and to heal and to release if they choose. You see? And if they don't choose, it's fine, because, like I said, we're in this time now where many of us are not going to be saving, and oh, come please, why don't you awaken? Oh, come and look at it. No, it is for them to make that choice, because there has been enough time, space, and energy to what has been revealed, and it's going to keep on coming on. Because even my own son, David, contacted me earlier this day before yesterday. He had a dream to do with his father, and I already had that dream to do with his father being in an elevator where he was in a pink suit, and he was going up the elevator, and my mom was taking a picture of him, and I knew it represented an element of the masculine consciousness elevating. And because he was wearing pink, and yes, pink, they usually link it to girls, but because he was wearing the pink suit, it's like he was showing me that he was working through his healing through his emotions. And I remember what it was like interacting with him on the physical earth plane. There was no getting through to him. It was one of the most narcissistic relationships I ever had, in terms of loving someone and going through so much of this type of just weird energy of abuse and whatever. You know what I'm saying? And so, so when you look at it now and think about what it is that you are working through with your emotions and connecting to your own feminine energy, and what it means for you in raising the vibration, raising the bar when it comes to this feminine energy that has been suppressed so much on the planet for so long, and that energy is rising. So if you find yourself feeling the urge to do something you've never done before, okay, and how you define the feminine energy, do it. As you are embodying it and doing it, what you're doing is you are helping Mother Gaia even more with what is happening to do with this ascension, okay? And it's coming through children, animals as well, the flowers as well, okay? Everything on earth is going through this ascension. Everything is going through the death and the rebirth. As the leaves fall off the tree, you are shedding the skin. You're just shedding the skin from the belief systems, shedding the skin of all of the programming that has taken place with dogma, fear, control, relationships, how relationships have been, how they should be, where they should be, who you should be with, how it should show up, and moving towards it, moving towards the highest and best for you. True love is not just based on a physical person. It's true love of your heart and what you're connected to, your desires, your passion, your love, what you love to do, where you love to be. Even if for one moment you wake up and say, I don't feel like doing anything, don't do it. Just don't do anything. Just remain present. Greetings. Stay present and follow the desires of your heart. It's when you don't follow the desires of your heart, that's where the resentment builds and the anger builds and the frustration. And then when you see someone else doing it and you ask yourself, well, why am I doing it? Because then think about what part of me is in fear of it. And then when you are embodying this power that you have, and if something comes your way that you are sort of testing yourself with the integrity of this power that you have, are you going to continue walking that path? Or are you going to diminish yourself again and give in because you're in fear? You see? And so, you know, they said that when you do gain this power, it does come with great responsibility. And it's not where, from what happened before, where the knowledge and everything was misconstrued in the beginning of time and all the chaos came in. And yes, yada, 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 turned away from love. And, you know, and yes, we said we were gods and goddesses, which we are. We are gods and goddesses. And then when you say it, they say you're blaspheming. I say, wait, God blaspheming against itself? Wow, that's interesting. But either way, all of that was put into creation because as we went into the sea of forgetfulness, guess what? We're returning back to love through the sea of love. I love that. I love the way that came out. Because that's what they're telling me, to say it like that. You're coming back to the sea of love. Does anybody know that song? The Sea of Love? And that was one of the songs that my son's father, that reminded me of him, the one that he had transitioned. And I think it's the Sea of Love, or there was another name for it if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember. But either way, it's through the water element, right? Which could be the tears. The tears. Because as you are awakened and you start to feel that pain that comes from something that is within you to come out, you're going to cry. I cried 1,000 tears. I mean, not that I counted it. Deep core purging. And that's what's coming for some of you that are beginning to awaken if you haven't already. And the depression. And you might look at it and say that, you know, life sucks and everything's going wrong, but everything is going right. It is through that space and element of connecting now, realigning yourself with what true love is through the tears, right? Through the tears, through the emotions, through the water, because through the water element is how we cleanse and purify our soul. You see? If you listen to that dream that I presented, let me see which one it was again. Spirit, remind me. I think it was the one that I put out there. I'm not sure. It's either one or two. I think it's the first. No, it's the second one. The second one, I believe. I'm not sure. Oh, you know what? I didn't put that one out there. That's the one that's private. Well, in that one, I was taken to that tall building. I was in the Palladians, and I was surrounded by all that water. And the way how the water looked, I can tell it to you, is just like if anyone has seen, you know, with the what was it, the 9/11 thing? What is that called again? The World Trade Center. And how they have the water flowing on the side of the building. That's exactly what it looked like inside. And I knew I was going through a cleansing. And the cleansing I was going through with my divine masculines is clearing and cleansing through all of the things attached to religion and belief systems and dogma around sexuality, females, feminine, all of that stuff, you see? And as you are going through what we call the reset, right? Because the full moon in Cancer, I think it comes in tomorrow, I'm not sure what time, is what is being reset for you. And that includes everything that you have been, it has been embedded with you when it comes to your you know, the feelings and emotions attached to maybe things that you desire, but you're in fear of it because it happened before, but now you're in a new energy where you can recreate what you've always desired. Okay. And then it's going to happen now for you. Okay. And letting go of these fears. And, you know, the best way I say to, you know, when you're really reclaiming your inner power is just doing it. Just taking that step, just like the story of the little engine that could. Just take the step and just keep moving towards it. You know, but when you're moving towards it now, you got to align with it by feeling it too, because if you're walking with it and you're still in fear, then it might not hold in that space. But it still exists because it becomes that choice that you're making. But now it's a matter of aligning with it energetically. Aligning energetically with knowing that you're getting your the desires of your heart, right? And that no matter where it takes you and how it takes you, nothing shall stop you. Just like when I was playing earlier, ain't no stopping us now. Ain't nothing is stopping you now. And the only person who has always stopped you is you. That's who it is. It's always been about you. Nobody else but you. You see? And it's in that moment of when it's happening, then you ask yourself, is this real or not? Do I really give a fuck or not? If I do, then I guess not. If I don't, then I guess so. That's how you have to ask yourself that question. Because every time when I look at my grandchildren, then when them just do whatever they feel like, and I have my kids, and I remember what it was like with them. The more you tell them not to do something, you turn your back, they're going to really do it. So think about that. Anybody that you felt that you have defied, and you are an adult by right, go do it. Don't let it stop you. If you haven't jumped off the bed in a long time, go jump off the bed. Go and exert your energy and feel into how did it make you feel when you did that. Anything that has been a resistance within you that you wanted to be adventurous about it and you didn't do it and see how it makes you feel. Because what it does is it not only empowers you, it's like you feel motivated. And the only person that can motivate you is you. Because you could get all the information, read all the books, and you know, go sit down in a place where somebody tell you this and that, and if you don't do it this way, and guess what? You leave out of there, and it's like as if you're still left out of there coming up empty. Because it's not about what someone else only says to you. It's, are you following your heart? Are you listening to your soul in what is being spoken to you and shown to you? Are you paying attention to your dreams? Are you writing them down? Is that right now what I've been doing? I call it the Sharon tornado tracking system. So I'm tracking my soul in how she and he's coming together, and I'm just in delight of it, because it's, to me, you know, you don't even have to take this all serious. I mean, like, yeah, but you know, hey, just lighten up with it. Lighten up your perception of your journey. In other words, instead of looking at it as if it's the worst thing in the whole world, look at it as the best thing in the whole world, because you're releasing energy that is no longer serving you and that is no longer serving the planet. So that way you are now recreating yourself to be in a new kingdom, in a new light, in a new way, a new thought. Okay? And as you are creating in this new thought and new energy where you're not sort of like coming together with the part of the energy that's distorted, okay? Because I even made reference, that's why I just love, you know, when they show me the scripture, I say, refer to Yeshua, Jesus with the fig tree, when he said, this fig in the tree, the thing doesn't serve its purpose, it's no good anymore. He said, be gone. And it was dead. Because anything that's dead and not serving you, let it go. Because you can't mix the two together. Just like they said, you can't mix the old wine with the new wine. You got to let it go. And that includes the things that you have been taught. Some of the things. There might be some things you might take with you and some things you might not. It's being recalibrated. You're going through a whole new system here. Okay? And the system is called True Love System. That's what the system called. Okay? Not the one where it was made up as a fantasy and thinking and believing that's what it is. And everybody's been trying so hard to make these marriages work. Everybody's trying so hard to make these relationships work. Everybody's trying so hard to get so rich. But guess what? All the one to attain the money and all that stuff, everything in reverse. There is no exception. Everyone is going through their awakening, whether you like it or not. Okay? Even your pets. Have you been paying attention to your pets, how your pets are responding? All of it. Everything. There is no stone left unturned when it comes to this awakening. And there are more people that are going to be awakening in the drum loads coming in towards the end of this year as we're moving through this gateway of the solstice, okay? I'm just so glad that I stepped into it with my divine masculine energy. Yes, yes, yes. And it is about balancing out the quadrants of this energy, that you know how to attune into the element of your Eve and your Lilith and the Alpha and the Omega principles that come together that embody this one element of this consciousness within you. And as each one of us embody the element of this Christ energy through yourself as the Christed soul, we light up the earth on an even greater expansive grid with this consciousness. And then the world shall know who the cosmos is. It's not just the earth, where we're all going to be cohabitating, at least for those who stay in the physical. Because, you know, as I say, hey, you can choose to awaken and ascend while you're in the body, or you leave out of the body and you say, oh, shit, if only. And I'm keeping it real. And there are some souls that are leaving the planet because they're also assisting you with your awakening. So if you have a loved one who is either sick in the hospital or you feel and know they're going to transition, it is because they already are serving their purpose for what they're holding in, have held in energy on the planet. And so they're going to be ascending with you still on the other side. The other side is not up here. It's right here where you at. And they're assisting you because everybody volunteered and agreed to hold whatever particular energy to show up, so that way we can transmute it, and then we're bringing it back into that pure state, okay? The pure element of love, the pure state of consciousness that comes with divine wisdom, okay? And that's how it's happening. So that's why if you're having dreams that are flowing through you with, sometimes it might even be people you don't recognize. For those on the twin soul journey, your twin might be showing up as an ex-boyfriend or an ex-husband. Your twin might be showing up as a child, okay? And it's all flowing through you as you are working through these energies to come back into how you're knowing yourself, okay? We're not here to be martyrs. We're not here to suffer. We're not here to save anyone. We're not here to save the day like Mighty Mouse. Those old days of programming is over. Eventually, at some point, we won't even need to be consulting anyone for advice, because you are receiving your own frequency of knowledge, wisdom, and love within you, as it is shared with your divine counterpart, as we're templating this third energy that is coming in rapidly. Because as it comes into the physical space, the only reason why some of us have not been able to come into physical union is because the planet had to reach to a certain level of consciousness before it happens. So it's like the way Spirit showed me today again. You think of the slingshot when you hold it back like a rubber band, and it cannot help but it must come back to itself. And that energy in and of itself is coming from the divine, because now in this energy is that the divine has stepped in, and now we're at a place where we can, at least for those who are really working on themselves, where you can now be in your joy and watch and see how things are going to start to manifest even more rapidly, okay? More rapidly in your world. And that's all. That's what I know. And like I said, I am going to stay as solid as you hear, as solid as a rock, okay? And it's the two of them singing. That's I forget what their name again. Ashford and Simpson. And they're in the book too. And it's a representation again of, are you building your life on just the quicksand of what you think you know and what you were taught, or are you not going to build it on a solid rock? And as you build it on the solid rock, are you going to believe in yourself, in what you are solidifying from what's within you, and not be in fear of it? As you move through this energy, as you are in the feminine, that feminine energy, especially those who are females in the feminine energy, it is through your energy that you're bringing the divine masculine to you. They're in a waiting mode. So I don't business what they're saying to you or what you're seeing. It's not about that. It's about where are you at in your stage of healing and transmuting and facing it and standing in your power and speaking your truth? Are you bringing yourself out there? And, you know, I'm not saying you got to blast yourself out there, but are you in fear still of who you are? Are you in fear of telling someone, hey, I'm on a twin soul path? Or are you steadfast in knowing it and you're not doubting it because if they're with someone else, right? Are you still in a space of, well, no, you're not, you know, stop doing these things because it's evil. You know, like what happened to me today. I love it. You know, when I think my body used to say to me, the more I'm telling not to do, no, the more anyone tries to tell me what not to do, guess what? I do the total opposite. I find it to be one of the greatest motivation when someone tells me I'm not to do something, or someone tells me I'm not doing the right thing, or someone tells me that, oh, I'm crazy, or you shouldn't be doing that, and blah, 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 fucking blah. Can you please sing me another tune, because I am not on your wavelength anymore with your song, okay? This is Sharon's song, and Sharon's going to continue not only creating her songs, but she's also bringing on her, the orchestra, the musicians, the saxophone, the clarinet, the piano. She's bringing on the flute. She's bringing on everything. She's marching in her band and she's marching forward, okay? Forward, forward, forward movement. That's so me stay. So when you know me start speak Patron, I mean I'm a passion. And like I said, there's a shield around me. You can't see it, but it did it. It's there. Okay? They had the violin, yeah. It's there. It's there. The more you, and don't try to come with any manipulation about, oh, you don't really love me. You know, that's how people do. Oh, you don't really love me because you're still doing that, da, da, da. Yeah, you'll be all right. And you see, the more you stay in your truth and power with that, is the more that energy starts to disappear and to go away. And then eventually it doesn't come up in your space anymore. You see? And then that's when you know you have centered that part of yourself in not only trusting, and you don't have to be in fear of what happened in the past during Atlantis, when we went through the fall of Atlantis, when we were stopped from continuing on with being with our divine beloveds, okay? And the only reason why these things have come through is because they know the power of what comes together with these divine unions. So be mindful of how it's showing up, because it sneaks right in, you know. Oh, yes, it does. It sneaks right in and say, no, you're not. You are of the whatever, right? And so I have to make it look a joke thing, but then again, I'm not. Because it does come in a way to say that it doesn't come together, okay? And so be mindful of what you're holding within your subconscious mind with fears, or what, you know, like, you know, I call it the little pestilent distractions. Like all of a sudden the phone rings and something is going on, or somebody stole your cookies in the cookie jar, somebody texts something from you to distract you. And look at it and say, where did that energy come from? All right. And then just put on the element of something to bring you back into that space again of knowing your truth. Knowing your truth and sticking to your truth. You see? And not letting up. Continuing on and on and on. And as you continue on, and when you feel that something comes your way that is like you're testing yourself, then you're telling yourself, I'm now walking it. I'm not just talking it. You know, just like this hip hop song, walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. Talk it like I walk it. That's it. Until that time comes where nothing will come into your space and try to, like, you know, sway you or make you think you're not doing the right thing, or if you start saying, well, I guess I'm really doing the wrong thing because, you know, this person's not contacting me. This is for the twin souls. Don't feed into that bullshit. Don't feed into that bullshit. Again, because of the magnitude. That's why I know why Spirit have me come on right, you know, at this time. Because of the magnitude. Think about it. Feel into this. The magnitude of these unions means something of a great magnanimous proportion. Okay? And the way how things are coming forward rapidly into that physical space, which has never been seen or felt before, and the fear will be coming from those who do not or may not understand the path fully, and therefore it would come in to take you off track. So we're not to come off track. Stay on that lane now and stay on track. Just like how when I was recording, when I was driving and recording, and the man blew me out the way. It was a blow blood, and I stayed right there in the same speed, and I still kept, and I said, you're not gonna bully me. So you might have that bully energy come, you know, trying to push you out the way, and that energy again is like you saying, am I going to still keep being who I am? Am I still going to still keep being in my expression? That's the key thing. That's right, Julian. Stay focused. Stay focused. And stay focused, especially stay focused with love and laughter and happiness and joy, because they don't like when you stay in happiness. They don't like, and they can't understand it. It doesn't make sense, because it's not supposed to make sense. Okay? When the Creator created us, Mother and Father God, they weren't involved in all them little dibby things. No, they just created, and that's it. So we are the co-creators, and we are co-creating now as the microcosmic aspect of this divine energy. You see? And how they show it to me is how it comes in like a flood of light. A flood of light. And as that light continues to permeate, it is going to keep moving, and it's going to keep on dispelling out. And because of the light coming through so much on earth, everything that's in darkness and hiding, anything at all, fear, deception, manipulation, is going to keep coming up to the surface. So if you see people arguing, or you have argument, do not engage. It's all a part of the process of energy showing up through that person or whatever is going on. Okay, you might see more aggressiveness coming through, and it's because that person is pushing through the aggressive energy that has been held on, especially the masculine energy, and it's happening especially more so through the males who carry the masculine energy. Okay, arguing, anger, frustration, depression, then it might switch over to something else. And so it's because it's taking them to that place of tapping into the feminine energy and their emotions, and working through it in a healthier way, so that even now, if they have never cried before, they're gonna cry, and it's a healthy cry. It's okay to go and to feel yourself through the sadness, and you might go over into feeling joy again and coming back over to sadness. It's a part of the balancing that is happening between us. Okay, your divine complement or your sacred partner represents the either the yang or the yin to you, in what comes together with this consciousness. Even though it may seem like it's in a separation, it's not. It is coming together, and it is together. It's just as you release the blocks and you start filtering through the blocks, you're looking and you're saying, oh my God, I see this now. Oh, I see through this person. Oh, this person is really not who they say they are. Oh, I see. But don't take that personal either, because bless them too. But bless them at a distance. And if it's time to let go, and Spirit is showing you it's time to let go of a person, let them go. Let them go. Okay? They may come back and they may not come back, because everyone has to find their way, and they have to find their way on their own. How ironic the song is playing, On My Own. There's no coincidence, you know. I love the way our Spirit does this. On my own. On my own. We're on our own, but we're on our own, and we're doing it together. So even if someone does reach out to you and they're seeking guidance, give them the guidance. Give them the guidance, but just remember not to compromise yourself. Don't overextend yourself, okay? Because it's all those little things that have created the blocks to our unions. Because in the past, it's put out there to be martyrs and saints and save this one and save the day. And that same energy has passed on through families where, the male is programmed that he must go out there and work and enslave himself and make and create the family, and she bears the children, and then the mothers go through postpartum depression. Some of them want to end up killing their children, and they wonder why, because of the deep rooted pain that exists in what has happened to do with the energy of relationships that have existed, the relationships, and how it has been programmed, and people staying in these relationships and marriages knowing that they're not happy, but they're staying in it because of what was written in the marriage created by man, that you must stay till death do you part. Why do you think they put that in there, still death do you part? Because if you went to your true love, that means that what? The energy of love, of the true love, would be on earth. And therefore that paradise is what. So when they wanted to place the blame on the female, say, oh, the female is the one that's innocent. Come on, where you think it come from? And the story about bit of the tree of knowledge. It wasn't no tree that was apple come from. No, It's a metaphysical story, metaphor, in relation to when you think of the tree, because the trees are talking to me too, saying, do you see me? And I'm like, yeah, what's the message? And the message was, we are the branches of the tree. And the trees that have been rooted with knowledge and information and love and guidance. Have you been paying attention? When the wind blows, that's a message. And so everything that represents that death and recycle, right, is like as the leaves have fallen off the tree, that's what's been shedding from you. And then as things start to change and shift through Mother Gaia on earth, the tree is going to bear new fruit. And I was making reference in one of my videos to do with fruit. You think about an apple. An apple is hard and it can be sweet and sour. A banana is soft and it can be sweet. You have grapes that can be sour and they're different colors, right? And they're all in the element and family of fruits, but they're all different. And they're all a part of the creation. So if anyone out there that it comes into an awareness or contact of twin souls because you've never heard of it or you don't understand the information to what's happening to your family member who's on that path, is to know that we are the branches and the trees of everything that's coming forth now in existence with changes on the planet. And it's being rerouted through the sacral chakra, because that's the connection we have to the masculine. You see, the 144,000, which is probably more, which represents more than just 144,000 people. It's not 144,000 people, it's 144,000 chakras, 144,000 higher selves. Ooh, you didn't know it was so many of you existing, did you? Yeah, there is. And the grid is already on. That's right. Many. Remember the part where they talk about, that's why I love when me come with the scripture and everybody say, no, that's not what it meant. Many mansions. In my house, there are many mansions. There are many yous. Many yous, many me's. You're me, I'm you. Isn't that amazing? I just love when the wisdom just flows and flows and flows, and you're like, oh wow, and you feel it in your soul. You feel it. Did you have to go look it up? Do you see anybody see me reading a book here? Me not reading a book. I'm staring straight in the phone. I'm looking right at you. Right, Charlize? See what I'm saying? And it's how you feel with what's being planted new within you. You see? In knowing that it's an ever non-stop cycle of evolution. Non-stop cycle of how you are evolving through your soul. And your soul is taking delight in itself, in what it is experiencing, and delight in itself of the transformation that's taking place. So now you can look at it differently, that your life doesn't suck because your soul doesn't feel that way. You just don't remember. So align yourself with your lower self. That's why they call it sunset, sunrise. I saw sunrise yesterday on a what do you call it? Name of a place. No coincidence. And that was a sign that the masculine is rising and risen, as rebirthed. Okay. When you are in the sunrise energy, you're rising to that consciousness, and you're aligning that sunrise with your sunset, the lower part of you. Okay. And that goes back to ancient Egyptian times. And, you know, they said that you had to go through the passageway, and that passageway was everything that you have experienced and done with your life. And it's not just this life now, it's other lifetimes, because we're going through that review. And you ask yourself, is my heart heavy or is it light? So it's not a you know, when they put it in the Bible, they change it up from the Egyptian thing that really, that's what was really happening, and not what was written in the Bible to confuse people. That it has to do with, are you really weighing and measuring your heart? Is your heart heavy? Do you feel heavy within you with what you're carrying, with burdens and feelings and thoughts? That's heavier than the bags you carry. Okay? And if so, where is it coming from? And how can you release it once and for all? And if releasing it means that you would cry, or you got to tell somebody off, or you got to, because telling somebody off doesn't make you less of a spiritual person or a Christian, whatever you want to call it. Because that's another programming that, oh, you mustn't say that, that's not good. Or you must keep it inside. Or you're not being a lady. Okay, well, guess what? Me will get gangster and all that kind of stuff and feel good, because guess what? Me not holding none of that energy. I'm not giving anybody that favor of keeping anything inside of me. You see, understand me? And I will say what I have to say, and I mean what I say. And whatever I say now, I said it 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago, 2 years ago. Okay? And whatever I said then, I'm saying it now, so you don't have to think. And I stay within myself being authentic. Okay? I keep it real. I keep it real. I don't hide behind closed door and you go and pretend like as if you see somebody else. No, this is me. And the same way how I am, each one of you that does the same thing and be the same thing, you're giving someone else permission to be and do the same thing. And then it just creates a domino effect. You see? That's what it does for you. So keep on keeping on. That's the message. Keep on keeping on. And another motto I have is don't give up. Don't give up. We don't have to think about anything taking too long now, because everything is just speeding up so rapidly that it's like I can't even keep track of yesterday, today, tomorrow, next week. But it's like it's all happening now. It's all happening now. Okay? And don't give up. So anyway, I will just sing one more note or play one more note. And I felt inspired, and that I'm in gratitude that if I have inspired you, then I'm in gratitude for that and in joy of that, you know. And the reason is because if it takes just hearing one thing or whatever you heard me speak on today, that if something within you has sparked, okay, then that's another effect that not only that you may have, but also someone else may have, because you took the steps to be even more grounded with your inner power. Okay, your inner power. And it's about how you feel inside, that when you wake up, that no matter what anyone says to you, no matter what anything has happened, that it doesn't take away from you with who you are. And that you stay steadfast and stay in your truth and stay in your knowing. And if you feel you don't have the strength, then just give me a little holler. I'm going to say, oh yeah, all right. And don't be surprised if I come in your dream state. Don't be afraid, because I've been getting contact from people saying that they're dreaming about me. And that's good. That's a good sign. There's nothing to be afraid of. Okay. So I send, and if you have any little question you want to ask me, feel free, you know, just ask me just one little question. I will do that for you. Because like I said, I know that I am blessed and you're blessed. Okay. And when I use the word blessed, I use it in the sense of that no one or nothing shall take us away from the true love of this Christed energy. No one can take away this true love of God. That's right. That's within me and that's within you. Do you understand what I'm saying? And when we are coming to this space, all I want to know is that I want to keep hearing someone saying, Sharon, guess what? I changed my hairstyle. Guess what? I changed my outfit. Guess what? I did this, which I've never done before. I got someone that sent me a picture. She finally changed her hairstyle and she feels good inside and she feels like something has shifted within her. You know what I mean? Do something daring and bold that you've never done before. Okay? Because when you take the step to do something that appears to be scary, what you're doing is you're giving yourself with your soul permission to go to the next level and the next step. And when I tell you, I've done some brave things in my, man, I tell you, when you hear me talk about this stuff, I'll have you cracking up, okay, with laugh, okay, which include jumping fences, high-speed car chase and everything. And every time when I took it to another level with my bravery, okay, and not giving fucks. But I'm not in that stage anymore of running. I'm not running anymore and reliving all that times of who I was, that I kept speaking my truth and always have been dishonored, and the fear that people had, where all along they didn't know that they had the power within themselves, that you had it all along. So don't envy me because I have my power. And even if you think you can destroy me, you cannot destroy me. If I felt that I could be destroyed, then that's because that's how I would feel. So I'm not giving anyone that power and thinking that they can destroy me. You see? And freedom is not something that you get from someone. Freedom is what you have from within you that no one can take away from you, no matter what. I've been embodied in so many bodies throughout so many lifetimes, and here I am. Here I am. Okay? Back again. The soul knows no distance. The soul knows nothing else but what is coming back to itself with love. Okay? And that's what I know. That's what I know to be true. Thank you so much, Carmen, Araceli, Michelle, Julian. I don't know who else is on, but I'm in. Oh, I turned it around. Wait, let me turn it back. See, you see you see my tree? That was my my tree of life. Let me show you my tree of life. So maybe I'm supposed to show you my tree of life that I was guided to get. That's my tree of life, and it has the purple, the amethyst. That's my birthstone. And then I have this one right here, right? And then I have my amethyst with the turtle, the amethyst crystal. And I was led to a shop. No coincidence. There was a statue of Nefertiti, and she gave it to me. I didn't have to buy it. And here is King Tutankhamun. You know, everything that comes back from that kingdom that we're recreating. My seashell, the ocean speaks. My crystal. Why you think they told the females not to wear jewelry? Because they knew that the stones and everything that come from the earth is what empowers us. You see? And all I know, the messages I keep getting constantly is that the queens are rising to their power. Put your groove on. Put yourself on, because as you continue on and on to empower yourself, empowering yourself means everything. How you desire to look. If you want, put your hair up. Wear your crown. You know what I mean? Do something sexy. All of that stuff, what they don't like, I say, oh, you're sinning and all them bullshit, because it's to diminish your power. You see? That's all it was. Just to diminish your power and diminish who you are. So don't do that. Don't ever, 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 ever diminish yourself. And keep shining and shining and walking and stepping and running and skipping and hopping and dancing. Do your sexy dance. I want to see some of y'all doing some videos, doing some sexy dancing, because what that does, it changes the frequency of the planet and everything around you. And so when that happens, that means that everything starts to break down, because it can't take it. It's just like the fembots in Austin Powers. When they came to seduce him and he turned the table around and he started to touch himself. And what happened? All of them started going, oh, well, that's what happens when you start stepping into your power. He turned the tables around. So you do the same thing too. Okay? You don't need anybody's permission. Just do it. I don't business who's in your life. Just do it. What you desire to do. Because what is the sense if you leave out of your body and say, oh, shucks, I didn't get to do it. I was afraid. I was in fear. I was afraid of being punished or what might happen to me. You see, that's what it is. And so it's for you now to say, I now choose the path, like Alice, the remake of Alice. If you watch that, please, I encourage you to watch the remake of Alice in Wonderland. When the big dog came to get her, and she was so little and tiny. Okay, he could have ate her up, but he didn't. And he said, that's not the way you're supposed to go, Alice. And she says, no, you're going to take me to, or forget the name of the castle, whatever. Okay, and he said, but that's not your path. And she said, I make the path. That is the classical, I will tell you, that was the highlight of me watching that movie. I make the path. I make the path. You make the path. That no matter what anyone says to you, that it does not deter you or change where you know your heart is leading you. Okay? Because that is what has caused this separation, because people didn't understand the power that you had within you to walk your path, and therefore they rather give that to someone else to give you the power that have shit going on in their life that don't know a motherfucking thing, but to tell you more shit to keep you down to their level. Now it's for them to step up to our level. Okay? So give yourself permission for that. You have the divine right to be who you are and to continue to walk that path, okay? This is my church. I'm going to call it church. This is my place of what I call energy, okay? Of what the truth is, where it's not where you feel heavy inside, okay? You're not feeling heavy inside, and lighten up yourselves, okay? Lighten up yourself. I'm still here trying to find a doggone song, but it's coming. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. I just feel like I had to, thank you for all the love. I just appreciate it so much. I appreciate all the love. I really do. You're so welcome, Araceli. How are you feeling today? I hope you're feeling better. Or I'm in gratitude that you're feeling better. So I'm not going to say hope. I'm in gratitude that you're feeling better, that you're feeling at your best. And that whatever part of you that's showing up now, that's not the real you. So you attain the real you and who you are. Okay? Because all it takes is just one change in thought and shifting that frequency. And if you feel that you don't have the strength to do it, then put on a movie or find a comedy, some laughter, and all of that. I found it, okay? So I'm not going to play it too loud, but I tell you this, that this was a song that came through to me based on the phone call I got today. And if you remember from Jennifer Holiday, Dream Girls, when I had that vision, I saw all these diamonds, things falling down on the women, you know, and actually had to do with the feminine energy. So even though the movie itself was a representation of her being rejected by all of them because she had her gift, and she was let down by the man she was in love with, she was let down by her best friend, she was let down by her brother, she was let down by all of them. And so all I could think of was this song and saying, you know what? That dog that came around the bend to show me how much, I don't even know if it was a he, she, because it didn't matter, how much he loves. And I know you all love me, because I know I receive more love than I have ever, because it's happening within me. And all I could think of, remember when she says, you're gonna love me, and you, and you, and you, and you. And I am telling you, okay? You're not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere, and you're not going anywhere. Nothing more shall ever be destroyed. We shall not be destroyed. We shall not be diminished. No one can come and try to say they're going to stop us from what is happening, even if they tried. So you can let go of any fear for what happened in the past life, with when you were hung, or when you were burned at the stake, or branded a witch and you were performing sorcery, because we were all goddesses that danced in the gardens. I had so much memory of when we took baths in the by the sea. I had memories of when we were in the incense and the oils and the temples. Okay, and when we were always in that preparation stage of being prepared for the honeymoon and sacred love and sacred sexuality, we were adorning our bodies with the jewelry, the crystals, the makeup, the hair. All of this is a process of how we're coming to our divine self and connected to the divine feminine, the divine masculine. The divine masculine hears your call through your heart and who you are and how it's flowing through you with this frequency. You see? You see? And it doesn't matter what anybody says. This is the truth. That's why I said within me, I said, I know there's something going on here, and it all makes sense. You see? It's the part I love. I'm telling you. I'm not going nowhere. Neither you. That's right. You know, it's that energy of when the separation came through because of the lack of understanding of what this journey is, you see? And so we're no longer separated. That's right, we're free. We're free. And you're gonna love me. Yes. And Love me. Love me. You're gonna love me. That's right. You feel that? That's power. That's power. So I'm going to say it's a little meditation for you. Prayer, however you call it, you know. Because my meditation is music, dancing, laughing, you know. That's just the blackness in me, you know. Came from the blackness. And so I'm in gratitude of this moment I call now. As we embrace it, as we just feel it, you know, that we are now releasing anything that is not of love. And not just what is not of love, but what is not of pure love. As we're working through this consciousness and everything that is templating on earth, of how we come together as one unity. And this one unity doesn't mean that we're all in agreement, but that we honor each other for our similarities, our differences, and that we stay in our inner knowing. And that as we honor the individuation of ourselves, that we recognize and know that it shows up in the principles of what seems like separation in duality. And as the soul is working itself and working its way back to itself, through all of the differences, through all the sequential codes of the 144, the 444, the 1111, the 333, the 888, the 777, the 717s, the 1515, the 1551, the sequential codes of 1s and 4s and 5s and 666 and 616 and 1010 and 1111 and 1212. We are in gratitude for what shows up in this sequential codes as it is working itself way through the sacred geometry. We are in gratitude for everything that is templating on earth. We're in gratitude for everything that shows up for us to see and to feel and to hear and to touch and to understand, coming from a space of inner and outer wisdom. So just take deep breaths and just inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Salama kituri sila te sheketene me te kusmera. Ira mi te kunimera shakolomela te kino kusmera te kito sheketa katuni mela te kino. Ira kunimera kinundara paton kunimera kin sala sheketoro mire. Ina mi kituni mira sila kitundara pitera kitashini kituni mira ti jacho. Ina matochu da bamda ina choni ta toni da muni ta ichaune. Imam na ino kunda nimna icha numne ata mi se to ita ita. Ida ne de ton de rabetan chala kundere chicha de kitosulumira kaza kisulumira babara. Ina marikituru silmera kikusulumira kesheketoni mina katete kitulu kitichipeketele mina ni kotonu minaba. Ina mekitushimira kata kusmira kata shekatomina beketelo mina kata katochimera. Ina le kitolo muchipada kutsumina batekino ebata kachakara beketolo mina la batara mikitara salamata kanamana. Isalama keturu shimira kata shebeketolo mina kata bakotulu mina kata barakitushekone manaba. Aina ne kunile la ketelo ne la ne no la ne kosulumira kono ne la ne ketela kata shinebeta potorba. Isalama ketelo mina beketolo mina kata sala koto shene me ketolo mina kata de ketolo mina tata bara I salamane ko shmena de ketolo mina be ketolo mina da gana mina ne ketolo mina bara ai na kero sala tishene me terso kotum dar bata I salame de ko shme kata na me ketala ketolo mina shikada me ketolo mina kata kana mana I salame ketolo ko chene me ketana me ketolo ko mina kata kacha me kata na mana ma ai indra ketolo keto shmera kata in kita sene ketani ketolo ko mina da batara ba ina me ketolo mina kata le ketolo ko mana kada ko chene me ketolo makana me kata na mana da batara ba ina maketolo mina Oh, no, 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 no. I feel so wonderful, and what was shown to me was just this protective energy that is just enclosing, and it's like I see a fire encircling around each and every one of us, and this fire is like in a circle. It's like being in a circle, and I see the element of this fire in this circle, like when we danced, many of us in the females in the feminine body. There's some of you who in the male body that had incarnated as females, and every time the dance of this during the full moon is what invoked the presence of the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit is a representation of Mother God, and Mother God and Gaia, however you call her, Asna. Kinene kinono no kunono kunono na kinene kinene kunono sanana na chanum dani yone chone la de chana petero cura ki la banatana patun shene metana petero. And what I'm hearing is that her children have come home. And we are in this circle of this sacred dance of life and this sacred dance of power and wisdom. And I'm just being told that wherever you are, to dance and to be naked with your feet and touch her and touch the ground. Bambalaba. Balalama ama ina nina unina chanwi me etalo we me pamo we me chunida da pa ede ekonida e amno de chonde la pa ta chamna e ta utu che amnida le ke. And to just ground yourself on the earth wherever you are, to do that tomorrow. Do it if you can now. Just walk on the ground, because we are, I'm just going to do it right now. I'm just being guided to do it right now. And if you feel tears coming out of your eyes, because it's the energy. It's very powerful energy that's flowing through me right now. And it is wet out here. Because the tears are coming out of my eyes, and and we're just going through an element of purifying through our hearts and feeling again, and knowing that we are loved, and knowing that no matter what has happened before, we cannot release and let it go. We can let it go, and we're free. We're free. That was the energy of Mother God coming through me and using me as a vessel, as always. We're free. And you will start to see more things start to show itself and manifest in your physical reality. And so I'm just here to dance. Dance on the ground and dance the fire of love. And if you're embodying this divine love in a new way, and that it's happening. We're in this fireball of love, and it is happening right now in this full moon. And so you may find yourself crying even more, and just allow yourself to keep feeling through it. Okay? And just take a deep breath and let it out again. Take another deep breath. Yes. I am in such gratitude, and I thank all of you for being here on here with me. It was meant to be for whoever's on there in the moment of this. They're telling me it's like a transitional phase. Even if you listen to this on the replay, you're going through a specific transitional phase that your soul has brought you into this space with this and what is changing. And they're telling me that you might feel some tingling in your body when you go to sleep, depending on where you are, and just to lay down for a little bit, because it's like everything that I was speaking, what's coming out of me, it wasn't me. That was the energy of Mother God coming through me, and this always happened before, and I just feel her presence even stronger around me in a different way. And you will start to receive even more downloads I'm hearing, and just to keep track with what you are filtering through with this. Okay, you're feeling the tingling, right? Because I'm feeling it in my body a little bit. And yes, yes, yes. So I don't know what this ring or this circle is, but it's like they're showing me it's like a ring and a circle of fire. And okay, so they're telling me that it's happening within your womb. Okay, so you may feel like a burning sensation in your womb space, and it's just everything that's energetically shifting within you, and also the codes that are coming through. And it's okay, they're telling me that it's connected to your root chakra, and then through the base of your root chakra, everything that's integrating within you, because you know, the stage of where you may be right now with your, you know, on your path, it's like a protective doorway and circle, and everything that has been burned through from whatever that has remained in the past, or the past existence that you've had, and whatever it is that you have held onto from that time, that you if you share that energy with your twin soul, that it had to complete its cycle of leaving. It had to complete that cycle of leaving once and for all. So if you remember, during the Mayan time when the ascension took place, they had ascended out of their bodies and everything was left behind. So it's like your soul is ascending through your physical body. And like I said, it's going to look different. It's going to feel different for you. So you're going to start to feel more sensations in your body is what I'm hearing. Okay. If you're able to take a sea salt bath, that would be great, because what's happening is everything that was flowing through me, because you could hear my voice, how I sound different. It's like that energy was just coming right through me. And it's like I feel such a peace, like a different type of peace. And so with that, if you can take a sea salt bath, and even if you have some crystals, and just have them near your body, because it's just going to be helping you to ground to ground the energies, because you know it's not like before where it comes in and it goes. It's like we're really embodying all of these codes. We're embodying all of these codes and messages in a mighty way. So that's what I'm hearing. So anyway, I think now I will definitely I won't say depart, just you know, I'll be back again another time whenever I'm guided to. So, and I am in just gratitude for each and every one of you just joining me and being a part of this journey and staying in your power. You know, I call it the the principle of power that lies within you, that's connected to you, that has never left, and now you're bringing it into a realignment. So I send you so much peace and love. If any of you have any revelations or messages or anything that comes to you stemming from whatever I said, whatever you heard, please message me and let me know. I would love to know, because you know I'm always putting together all the data that flows through from anyone that I have contact with or anything, and sometimes it takes quite a bit for me to put everything together, but I know when I'm being guided to do it, I will do it, because of the fact that it's imperative for the planet, and it's imperative for what's changing for us and what's coming in for us in a mighty way. And you know, even when I had issues with getting the segments out, constant issues, I didn't let that stop me, and I kept it going. And the whole time the segment came out to 1 hour, 44 minutes, and 22 seconds. So no matter what, don't give up. Keep it moving. And remember that it's not about the journey. It is the destination. And the destination is, am I ready to now experience and embody true love of the heart? And if you say yes, then be prepared to ask yourself, am I ready to go the distance and be, not do, be what it takes to be there? Notice I didn't say get there. And if you are really ready and you get on that train, that means you're going to keep on going, and that if that train starts moving fast and accelerating, that you're willing to go the distance and go speedily. And if you decide to come off the track, it's okay, because you get to choose again and to come back on track. And on that note, I shall now leave you. I love you. Peace and blessings, beautiful souls. Namaste.